everybody, this is Joseph Sharon, and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched The Sandman, and if you know me well, you are well aware that this is one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. I'm a massive fan of Neil Gaiman, and to be honest, I would love to meet him someday and just pick his brain about just how exquisite of a writer he is, because I'm a writer as well. And this series just, it was flat out incredible. The casting, the stories were exactly what I was expecting. I really didn't have any nags per se. It's nice to see Constantine. I enjoyed that because I love Constantine as well. I'd have to say Constantine is one of my favorite DC characters other than Sandman. And then, of course, Wonder Woman, obviously. And Shazam. And then it would be Dr. Fate and Aquaman. I know Aquaman doesn't get the praise he deserves, but then the newer version of Aquaman is so much better, just to be frank. But this this adaptation was absolutely flawless, and I think they executed everything expertly. Small spoiler on the final chapter, when they spoke of writers, it didn't really give writers a very good name. And speaking as a writer myself, I can tell you that not all of us are like Rick or Erasmus. So I just have to stand up for ourselves. we do. Yeah, I guess there's a certain amount of verity in the fact that we do embellish. I mean, we're writers, but not all of us are flat out liars. When I write about something, I am frank, even overtly so. I cannot help that, because I can't lie to save my life. I honestly can't. I did that in the past when I wasn't who I am now. And I don't want to go back to being that person. That's not who I am. But not all writers are like Rick was in that episode. And he was a complete bastard. There's no other word for him. He was selfish, conceited, narcissistic. And even though he seemed to be championing a cause, he was doing it for gain, for his own basis, his own benefit. That is the truest definition of conceit. That was a powerful series. It really was. There were so many quotes that just absolutely staggered me. I mean, there is a lot to think about here. As someone who loves the realm of metaphysics, and this breaks the fourth wall. Last episode, second part, really breaks the fourth wall quite a bit. And for those who are students of philosophy, yeah, it's something to definitely contemplate. And this is why I love Sandman. I mean, there's just so much mythos here that you can really sink your teeth into, and a lot of scholarly sources said, oh, this is unadaptable. Well, you said that about Dune, and yet they're making another part of the first book, which I have not seen the remake. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and I'm probably going to get flamed, but the David Lynch interpretation of Dune, I actually like. So please don't hate me. But of course, I haven't seen the reboot, so jury's still out. I mean, I love Dune. I have for a long time, and it's just an outstanding story. And you can see that Herbert took a lot of influence from Asimov, and who hasn't? I mean, I myself have taken influence from Asimov, because I adore him. He's probably one of my absolute favorite sci-fi writers the world over for obvious reasons. But I have to say, Sandman was just absolutely tremendous, and I'm really hoping that we have a season 2, because some of the endless we have not seen. And I would like to see Death again. Actually, Death, other than Dream, is my absolute favorite endless. I love her. I mean, I know this sounds kind of odd for me, but from having to experience that for a long time since I was young, I was precocious. Let me just put it that way. I've always been a precocious child, but I'm an old soul. There are areas where I need to mature. Yeah, I will admit to that. But just the episode on her episode by itself, I just thought was so absolutely enthralling, also poignant, but very deep and comforting. It was oddly comforting. And I know that sounds unusual, but for me, it really isn't, because I could relate so deeply to that episode. And I wish I'd known what I know now about death. That doesn't mean I'm not scared of it still. I mean, I know where I'm going when I die still. Yes, that's true. I don't find anything wrong in how other people believe where their souls will go. Like, I have a friend, he says he's an atheist. Of course, we haven't spoken for a long time, but I said, you can't be an atheist because you believe in an intelligent being, a designer. So you're a Gnostic, my dear. He's like, no, we don't go anywhere when we die. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, because you believe what you believe, but I don't believe in that. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't see why a creator would do, because that seems kind of like a wasted potential, you know. Just because I mean, I know this sounds odd, but we would argue for hours about that. But I would agree with him, because, you know, I guess there is some comfort in knowing that you will return to what you were created out of. You're just nourishing what was already there, because you're a stranger of this planet. You are a steward. Yeah, you're just melding into, you know, that which has always been. There's comfort in that for some, not for me, but just the episode itself was very calming. I know this sounds just so morbid, but I don't know, it's just that episode just I could relate so much to, because I've witnessed death. I mean, I'm a proponent of it. Yeah, I'm a survivor, but one day I will I will punch my ticket and head on over to the other side. And I'll be, at that time, I think I'll be ready for it, because you know, you reach a certain age and you're like, oh, well, I've seen most things, I've done most things, I think I've lived a good life. Now I'm ready to go back home. So yeah, because my understanding is we're all here for a reason, even though we might not understand what that reason is. My reason is simple. I think that I'm here, you know, our form is our function, what Death said, and that just hit me. I thought, my form is my function. And when I was born, I was always one of those people, a motivator, a cheerleader, Miss Optimistic, even though, yeah, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, which was totally wrong. I overcame it. I got out of that pit. My faith helped me. My humor helped me. My extended family helped me. It was not easy, but I'm still an optimist. I will remain an optimist until the day I draw my dying breath. But yeah, that phrase, our form is our function. I thought, whew, that's heavy. Ooh, yeah, that line just, it really resonated with me because I thought that's me, and I think that's why I'm here, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Could it be that simple? Perhaps. I don't know. To each their own. I mean, we all have our own perspective. It's that age-old question. Well, why am I here? What is my purpose? The existentialist thing. So I really don't have a lot to say about Sandman. But if you are a fan of the graphic novel, this is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, everything about it, the detail, the characters, the stories, they're just jump right off the page. It's like you're reading the graphic novel for yourself. And then they said it was unadaptable, but I don't think they understand that Neil Gaiman was one of the producers. So I thought, oh, they're going to nail this. And they did. And it was absolute perfection. So I honestly don't have a lot to say about Sandman other than I hope to gosh that they have a season 2, just because, like I said, there's so many endless that we haven't seen, and I wanted to see the other stories, and I'm not sure how many seasons they would have, honestly, because it could go on a while, because there's a lot of material, and I don't know if it was ever finished, if IGN ever picked it back up, because I read the original Sandman comic books, but, or I should say graphic novels. It's graphic novels more appropriate. I don't see a difference, but maybe because graphic novels grittier and longer and is more saturated with things like lore and mythology and maybe a little bit more adult than your typical comic book is. But yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the term graphic novel is kind of murky for me. But that's all I got to say about Sandman. So until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, Titi.